Hi, I'm Stephanie Scott, and today I would like to argue that social media and other platforms should have more restrictions and policies in place to just limit the information given out by a user of said platform. So three of the main points I wish to argue is that these social media accounts can track a lot of information. They're constantly keeping up tracking the information. Another one is that information, it's only slightly delayed, but it is delayed, and that they're constantly tracking not only just a lot of information, but they're tracking our location and just some really big information that I just personally don't think should be out in the open. And then I also want to discuss an objection that some people might have to these policies and kind of where I stand with those objections. So for my first argument, as I was saying, social media does track a lot of information. For an example, with Facebook, they ask your age, the school you attend, when you graduated from the school, if you are graduated, kind of where you live. I don't use Facebook that much, so I just know those are some of them. But even other platforms will ask even more information about what you do. They're very specific about where you travel. You can say just lots of little bits of information. You're constantly posting things saying, oh, look, this is where I'm traveling right now, and it'll have an exact location. And I just think a lot of those informations are a little unsafe to put out there, especially some of the websites and policies where you're saying, or buying something, I guess, and you put down your credit card. And yes, if you're buying something, you do have to put down your credit card to pay for it. But a lot of those websites will automatically, or if you allow them to, save your information. So they'll save your address and save your card information. Yeah, you might have to put the 3-digit number in, but everything else they have. And I just feel like that brings up a lot of concerns with hackers, and just if you're saying what school you went to, obviously you can narrow down exactly where they're from, especially if that is one of the things. Saying your relationship status, yeah, for family and friends, that's all good, but I think it can just lead to a lot of bad things being out there. And they also track a lot of what you like. So if they know your age and you're liking something on social media, let's say it's about a bathing suit, they're going to target your exact age group, but also about, bathing suits. So you might be scrolling and you'll see an advertisement for bathing suits, and you're like, how do they know that? And it's because you liked a picture that someone was wearing a bathing suit, maybe from that exact company. Or not even on social media, on the internet, you were looking up to buy specifically from this website. And so since you bought from that, even if you don't have a subscription to there, they still register, oh, this person on this phone went and bought something from our website. So now let's go on their social media and post advertisements from our website showing them bathing suits. And so you're constantly in your feed getting these advertisements of these bathing suits now. And that might make you go ahead and buy those bathing suits later on. So I honestly just find it a little strange that if I'm not even on the social media platform, but I'm looking something up online, I'll go back to the social media page and see, oh my gosh, they know my internet history in a way, or what I looked up on something else, even if it was a week ago. And I just think that really goes to show that whether it's the government or just, a social media platform itself is constantly tracking all that we do. And I really think there should be some policies in place limiting that, especially now that there are a lot of advertisements that do look like a regular post, especially with the traveling ones. I know personally I get a ton of traveling ones because I follow a lot of traveling pages and travel quite a bit. So I'll get one of a pretty vacation site, just think someone's traveling, or it's one of my traveling pages, and then come to find, oh no, that's an advertisement for this place wanting me to come and stay there. It's not just a pretty picture someone posted. So then I want to talk about my second argument, that social media does in fact delay information. Yes, it's instantaneous. I'm not saying they delay it a whole hour or 2 days. If you're posting something, your likes do show up very fast. but it is slightly delayed. And this is being said as in within like 5 minutes, you might receive 10 likes on a post you said, and you might see that, but in reality, you might have actually received 15 likes in those 10 minutes where you only saw, or it only showed you 10 of those until later on. And I know a lot of people, this might not cause to get anxious, but I know personally and in my generation, and due to a study that looked at this, it did make a lot of users very anxious and continue to go to their page and swipe and see, oh my gosh, how many likes do I have? And I think just showing those likes to the public rather than just the user themselves, also, even though it's sad, makes a lot of the users anxious, and they constantly compare themselves to other people. And they're like, oh my gosh, how many likes do I have? Am I popular? Am I cool if I have 50 likes within an hour? Or should I have 100 likes, 1,000 followers? It's just, it works up a lot of angst in a lot of people. Maybe not some groups, but I know a lot of people around my age it does. So even the slight delay, it just makes people constantly checking the app because they want to know how many likes they have. So yes, it's instantaneous, making them want to check because they're like, okay, I'm going to get instant feedback. It makes them feel good. But then that slight delay where they don't see a couple of their likes, again, makes them even more anxious. So then they're checking it even more. And yeah, in the end, obviously, they do see all their likes. But it's just that slight delay and the instantaneous reaction that makes them so anxious. And then I just want to say that a lot of social media accounts, and I kind of mentioned it before, they track a lot of information, one including your location. I know specifically now, Snapchat will allow you to publicly show your location, or you can do it privately just with your friends or a select group of people, or you can decide, I'm not showing my location, which personally I do. I think it's kind of strange. And if you zoom in on the map they show you, it'll be like Google Maps where you can see houses specifically in buildings. So if you know where someone lives, you can be like, oh, they're at their house right now. I know I was in an apartment with several of my friends, and if I went on the map, I could see, oh, they're at home right now. I can call them up and say, hey, I need your help with something. I don't check it like that, but personally, I find that very scary, especially if you do get in a very abusive relationship, if people hack information and they can see that. Even if you're on private just to your friends, you can still get hacked, or you can have a friend or, like I said, a relationship, even a family member that you don't know as well as you think and will, it could cause some damage, and they could stalk you, find you, just be very controlling and manipulative, always be like, hey, you're lying to me, you're not where you say you are. And even, with those hackers, people can hack and see their location, and it can become really, really scary. So I really think there should be limitations there because, of course, not only does that mean random people or people who you trust have your location, but it also goes to show that Snapchat, the government, has your location at all times. And I know, yeah, the government might have your location at all the time, but I don't know. Personally, I think there should be some limitations on there because I think it does create a lot of potential dangers. Now, finally, I want to broach a objection. I know some people might say that, of course, social media is a platform where you're supposed to get to know people. It's a place where you talk to your friends, extended family. You're supposed to tell them information about your life. Why would you restrict that? And I completely understand that, but there should just be some privacy with it, I think, because a lot of that information is shown to the public. I think there should be more private accounts. It'd be way easier to become private and just show your friends and family because there's certain information you just want to save for those people. Or if you're talking about your location, I think your family, you can call them up and be like, hey, this is where I'm at, rather than saying, this is exactly where I live. I'm at my house right now. So I just think there should be some restrictions. There's just some things you're going to tell your family or friends privately that you're not going to tell strangers. And on social media, I think that can be shown to strangers. So I hope this really shows some ideas with privacy that I think are really important and why we should agree that we need more restrictions on a lot of policies on social media to protect us all. Thank you for listening, and thank you for a great class.